don't have your bedazzled phone.
Oh, I've got it in my bag.
Oh, 2 o'clock. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna tell everybody is this meeting will be conducted in person and remotely using video conference technology and will be video and audio recorded. Can you hear me, Sandy?
No, we have.
Oh, the meeting is going to be recorded, audio and visual, audio and video. Okay, just letting everyone know, okay? So I'm looking for a motion to open the meeting at 2 o'clock on the 19th of December.
I make a motion, we open the meeting at 2 o'clock on December 19th, 2020.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, meeting is open, so I'm gonna do a roll call. Mary Ann Petruski, present.
Virginia Fleming, present.
Shirley Kahn, present.
Patricia Mazapika, present.
Okay, so the first item on the agenda are the minutes. So because you guys were late in getting these things, I'm gonna go through them quickly, okay? You got the minutes, Shirley? Well, that's your agenda, so that needs to go first. Your minutes are right here.
These are the minutes.
What are these? Aren't these minutes?
These are the wrong
These?
minutes. These are
Okay.
the minutes right there.
Did you give,
Oh.
Paulette, why don't you sit up here, please? Sorry. You're part of the squad now. Okay, so, this was the last meeting, the minutes for November 21st, 2024. Members present, Mary Ann Petruski, Virginia Fleming, Shirley Kahn. Members absent, Patricia Masapika. Also present virtually was Benjamin Gold, Executive Director, Adam Gotti, Assistant Executive Director, Jay Travaris, Administrative Assistant, Special Projects, Evelyn Perez, Director of Housing Management Services, Susan Bonney, Director of Finance, Gerson Citron, Director of Facilities, and Chris Boyer, Assistant Director of Facilities. Meeting call to order. I'm gonna bypass all of that because these are 3 pages long. So I'm gonna move into the annual plan hearing. So what we did was we opened the meeting, everybody said they were present, and then we moved into the annual plan. So there was a discussion of the annual plan with tenant input. 1, more handicap apartments. 2, new kitchen cabinets. 3, building specific deadbolt locks and use of fire lane. The new executive director will need to follow up with the fire department about both items. 4, deep cleaning of buildings. Set up recurring work orders for cleaning. Tenants are currently cleaning the hallways and this is a safety hazard. 5, tenants, visitors using the 15-minute parking space and not moving the car afterwards. Would like more parking signs. It should be signs, it says spaces, but signs. Install handicap door for the office. The WTTO, Winthrop Terrace Tenants Organization, Secretary Paulette DeSorsi, spoke on behalf of the tenants. 1, top 3 safety concerns. Would like deadbolts on doors, better lighting in the back, and a generator in the community room. I don't believe that's accurate.
No. You just ask for locks,
Right.
new locks.
Right, not deadbolts,
Not
because we
deadbolts.
already found out from the fire chief, we can't have them. Okay, Assistant Executive Director explained some of the requests are not capital improvement projects. Assistant Executive Director stated a few of them could be completed now. The new Executive Director will need to start the process. Assistant Executive Director explained the annual plan is fluid, as changes can be made based off pressing needs. The first 3 years of the projects are currently funded. The other 2 years are not. Assistant Executive Director stated he will submit a letter of all tenant requests and it will be attached to the annual plan. Okay, so under administration, the modernization report, Assistant Director. 667-1, replace parking areas and driveways, fish number 318062. The designer GCG Associates submitted the schematic design on 8/27/2023. The schematic design needed to be approved by HLC, then the designer can start work on the construction documents. The due date for the schematic design is 11/26/2024. 667-1, accessible units, new construction, fish number 318087. The designer submitted 50% of the construction documents to HLC for review on 3/17/24. The remaining 50% will be submitted after payment is complete for the initial 50% construction documents. The designer received payment for the construction documents in October and is now working on the remaining 50 construction documents. 667-1, replace stairwell VCT, fish number 318089. The construction documents were submitted for HLC approval on 10/29/24. 667-1, fire alarm upgrade, fish number 318091. HLC selected BLW as the designer. The designer is now working on the schematic designs, which are due 11/27/24. 705-2, 540 Keys Road, fish number 318092. HLC sent a fee proposal request to the designer to begin the schematic design process as of 7/25/24. HLC followed up with the designer on 10/2/24 and are still waiting for their fee proposal. State aided housing report, executive director. We have 2,404 elderly and 6,410 family applicants on the waiting list. There was a lease up and a vacancy in October. We are at 98.25% occupancy for elderly, 3 empty units, 2 waivers, 1 vacancy. We are at 100% capacity for family, 3 empty units, 3 waivers, 0 vacancies. Overall occupancy is 98.28%. Director of Housing Management Services, Evelyn Perez, explained that she has pulled 5 lists to fill the vacant units. There was a potential applicant who accepted an offer at another housing authority. There is 1 tenant transfer in progress. New business, A, Resolution 2024-4, Utility Allowance and Payment Standards, FY25, Dedham Housing Authority. Motion made by Vice Chair to approve the utility allowance and payment standards for FY25, Dedham Housing Authority. Treasurer seconded the motion with all in favor. Financials and warrants. The financials of September 2024 were reviewed. Treasurer made a motion to approve the September 2024 financials as presented. Vice Chair seconded the motion with all in favor. Director of Finance, Susan Bonney, explained the new executive director will need to update the credit card information for Lowell's. I don't know what. It must be Lowe's, not Lowell's. PHN network and malware. The checks will be given to the new executive director. Motion made by Treasurer to accept the warrant. Vice Chair seconded the motion with all in favor. Board Chair report. Board Chair provided an update on the executive director search. The new executive director will start on Monday, December 2nd. The executive director will be on site 4 to 5 days. They are reviewing resumes for the administrative assistant, and the executive director will complete the hire. The management agreement with Leominster Housing ends on November 30th, 2024. Motion to adjourn. Vice Chair made a motion to adjourn the meeting at 11:54 a.m. Treasurer second, and with all in favor, the meeting was adjourned. So, other than the mistake here, do you want to approve the minutes with an adjustment made to this, or do you want to put them on the table and correct it?
I make a motion,
I haven't asked for a motion yet. I'm asking you if you want to table it. I mean, it is stuff that is inaccurate in terms of what the tenants, as far as it having tenant input.
well, table it then.
Okay,
I second.
okay. So I'm looking for a motion to put on the table the minutes so that the corrections can be made for November 21st, 2024.
I make a motion, we table
I second.
the minutes.
All in favor of putting them minutes on the table for November 21st, 2024? Aye. Motion carries unanimously by board members present. Okay. Executive Director report. So, as you all know, we've hired a new Executive Director, Pat. This is our new Executive Director, Janie Navar.
Nice to meet you.
This is Pat Massapequa. She had been out and she's now back and in attendance. You've already met Shirley, you've already met Virginia, and of course, you've met me probably more times than you would care to think about. She's originally and still lives in Worcester, Mass. She managed a 100-plus unit private sector apartment building. She was interviewed and we voted to hire her. So with that, I'm gonna allow her to speak for herself and let you all know here at the board who she is and what she wants to say for herself.
Hi, my name's Jamie Navar. I'm from Worcester. I used to work at a private property management company. My experience was in low income.
Speak up a little bit?
Oh, sure, I'm sorry. My experience is in low income housing tax credit. So it's a little different. It's federal program instead of state. So this is going to be a bit of a learning curve for me. So far, I feel like I've learned a lot. It's a lot of work, a lot has to be done. So I'm willing to do it. I come in every day, happy to do this, and happy to be surrounded by wonderful people. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so, modernization report, including DocuSign for increase in fish number 318087. There was a second one, we need those.
If you
But
want to do both, that would be well.
yeah, so this is the one that we're doing now, correct?
Oh, I actually recopied them. So they're both in here, but I'll give you just the.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have enough paper to fill up a whole new apartment.
I agree.
Thank you. You wanna pass that down, Shirley? Thank you.
I don't know if I thought Pat was gonna be here. Did I get a note?
Yeah,
Yep.
you did. We're good. So, do you wanna talk about this one?
Oh, so that was for October, so I don't know if you've already discussed that. I don't know that I was presenting the
Yeah,
CFA.
it's on the agenda. Yeah, we talked about it. You were gonna do this one and this one. This one we never saw until after you got here, cause Leominster never told us about it, remember?
Yeah. So what we received was $85,995.64 for the year 2026 and $89,127.43 for the year 2027. So the change is a total of $175,923.07 to be added to, this is for project number 318087.
Yeah.
So that's an increase in that amount.
So it went from current, contract for financial assistance or CFA, $1,529,000. No, I always get this wrong. $1,529,715.44 to $1,705,638.51. Those numbers I'll never see in my lifetime. I don't need to use them. Okay, so, obviously it says here authorizing, I have to sign it, I'm gonna do it on DocuSign, but we couldn't do it until after the meeting. So we're just making you aware, you keep these documents. Okay, next.
So borrow your copy, because I only made it for you guys.
Oh, you mean
That's
the
okay.
second one? Oh, sure.
Thank you. So this one was adding for the same, project 318087. $1 million for HP improvements. So the current was 1,000,000.
Yeah, you're doing the same thing I do.
$5,638.51, and then the revised or new amount is $3,944,743.51.
Okay, great, thank you. So again, this is something that I have to sign, and I do it online under DocuSign, but I couldn't do it until after the meeting. Is this one, because this one doesn't say. This one here? So I guess they sent it blank?
Oh, instead of your name.
Yeah, because the other one has my name and my title and everything. Oh, well. So if I get rejected. I try.
It says print name, print,
Yeah, I know, but if you look at the other one,
yeah, I know.
This one,
but
it
was
shows-
from him.
yeah, see, it says right here, my name and who I am.
I think they did that so quickly because it came last minute, so
Oh,
they
okay.
probably just
Okay,
printed it.
so these you have to hold on to, okay? All right, so these are the minutes, I'm gonna put that there. Okay, so, the next thing under your, oh, I gotta keep that down. And under modernization, right, you had in your ED report, Leslie, did you have more?
No, just to sign that, is the update for 318087.
Yeah, I know, I'm looking for it, what happened to it, I just had it in my hands.
Do you want to get mine?
No, that's
It's probably under that one.
you think?
Yep.
Or maybe it's in this one, those are the minutes.
It's right here.
Okay, so now we're talking about, state aided.
So we have actually now 2 units vacating at the end of this month for this, for 667, and then 1 unit that vacated November 30th at West School. I am scheduled to finish my CHAMP training by the end of January, and then we're looking forward to getting these vacancies filled.
Okay, so I'm gonna open it up to discussion. I have a concern that we've had these apartments open for a real long time, through no fault of yours, so don't take that, this has nothing to do with you, you came into this. However, we have made a suggestion about hiring someone to do CHAMP. And that's what I am going to present to the board. It is important that we get someone going, because the lists take forever. It's a long process. You mail them out, people don't respond, you have to wait a certain amount of time, then you have to do it all over again. And waiting and waiting and waiting. So we do have someone that is willing to do it, under a a mutual aid agreement. I've already talked to Ken. I know that you guys went ahead and talked to Mass Narrow.
Yes.
However, Mass Narrow doesn't do anything but send out the letters.
So by the time we get everything back, they're going to work with me and we're going to follow through. And they're going to guide me through the process. So I do have other concerns, like rather ethics not hire your recommendation.
It's not my recommendation, it's the only person that's available, and she does CHAMP for the CHAMP organization. So
Right.
I don't, what's your ethics,
So they've only been communicating with you, with the board chair,
no, they have not.
yes. entire agreement was made with you.
Janny, did you not have a conversation?
Yes, yesterday they told me.
Correct. I didn't know anything about
That
it.
they've been, yes, working with you.
Okay, that's incorrect, Janny. I did not know anything about it. I talked to Ken this morning, and he told me what you guys decided to do.
Which is go with Mass Narrow.
Right, but that should have been discussed and presented and talked about who was going to, what that was gonna cost. And also, I had many discussions with you and Ken regarding hiring that person that I don't wanna name, because that person said that they were available to do it.
So they were having this conversation with you.
One conversation when they called about needing plowing assistance. That's when the conversation, other than that, the conversation's now pursued between you and Ken and their office, not
Right,
me.
so as the day-to-day operations, it's not a contract, it's a fee per unit. So I'm working with Mass Narrow now, and then if I feel like I need more assistance in the future, we can do that. So far today, they've pulled 2 lists, there's 150 letters going out before the end of the business day
Right.
today.
Right, Ken told me that today, the late morning, early afternoon. And he also said that they don't do anything beyond that.
I believe that that's not correct. However, by then, I should be trained and I should be able to take that on.
Okay.
If I do need assistance at that point in
Okay.
time, I'm happy to
Right.
reach
And
out.
I reached out to EOHLC, and I discussed this with them, and they said it would be a board issue that if we decided that we wanted to hire someone under a mutual aid agreement, it was under our purview to do that.
So do
it
you
would
have
need-
this agreement?
It would need board approval. Well, no, we have to, because you seem to think I've had all these conversations. No, it's something that the board needs to decide, to approve, to do, and then we go that next step to do it.
Okay.
So, and I asked Ken, specific, is Mass Narrow gonna do more than just send out letters? And he said no. That's what he said.
I mean, I thought I was hired to do that.
You were hired, you had no experience, you don't know how to do it, and we discussed it at the very beginning. During the interview process, you asked, what 2 things are most important? We said that the office be manned every day.
Yeah.
And that, and meaning the office would be open, and
Right.
that we fill the apartments.
Yes.
That was the top of our list.
And
To do.
I have been working on that, trying to get trainings. Like I said, I should be completed with champ training before the end of January. Would have been done this month, but there were meetings, et cetera. But the letters are going out, we should expect responses, we have 10 days to get those back, and I'm ready to move forward with those.
But you don't have the training yet, so the training and the, it's gonna take you some time. And these apartments, the 3 here have been empty since May. Then we have 2 more that will be empty since January 1st. And then we won't even get into Westfield, that's a whole other
That's
problem,
the process.
and that's separate from this, but that's 5 more apartments. Every month we're losing revenue by having them empty. So it makes sense to have someone do it until you are prepared to do it. And the ball gets rolling, and maybe we might get 1 or 2 apartments filled by the time that happens. That seems financially prudent to do it that way.
I understand where you're coming from. I'd like to have a say about who helps me with my day-to-day operation.
It's a board decision about who,
Okay. Absolutely.
okay? So I'm looking for a motion. I'm looking to discuss with you guys. How do you feel about going forward and hiring someone to do it until she's ready to do it? Virginia?
I feel they have to be found. I mean, at least it's a start, if she can come in and do this and help you, I mean, why not?
And this isn't
You know,
someone that is I don't wanna use her name because you mentioned ethics, and I don't want to do anything that would not be right and fair to her. But she's done it before for us. She knows our apartments, she knows our property, and she's done it before for us. It was only when the contract ended with, that she no longer did it, so are you saying you wanna hire someone?
Well, it would, give Jenny a chance to, even learn more.
Okay, so you're for hiring someone now under a mutual aid agreement?
Well, yeah,
Okay. Pat?
Okay, it's my understanding that this young lady was going to be in the office every day,
Mm-hmm.
and that she's got experience
She does not as an
with
executive director.
departments and people.
Right, but not as an executive director. Champ is a whole different thing than the private sector.
Okay, so, I mean, I haven't been there, so I don't know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
But the question I have is, when they hired this young lady,
Mm-hmm.
they knew her background,
Right,
okay? So, the position that she held, where she worked before, technically was taking care of a lot of apartments.
but not, it was in the private sector. That's very different than in housing. She's never done the champ. If she knew how to do champ and was trained in champ, we wouldn't be having this discussion. She doesn't know how to do it. And these apartments have been empty for so long that until she can get up to where she can do them without any issue at all, then, but until then, it makes sense to have someone do it until that happens.
Okay, now is another girl in the office as an assistant?
Yes, she's an administrative assistant,
Okay.
yeah.
Does she know anything about
Nope, has no experience either,
CHAMP?
None of it.
Nothing?
none of it.
And are there any courses that they can take?
Well, yeah, that's what
She's
Janny is
doing
gonna
it
be
now.
doing, right, but if that takes time and it's involved,
Mhm.
and so, we did discuss this. Ken, Virginia, and I, and Shirley with Ken, prior to even doing the interviews, that we wanted to see about having someone come in. That was a conversation that happened before we even interviewed you. And it was agreed upon that that's what we would do.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, if somebody has to come in to show her the ins and outs of how to do
No.
CHAMP,
I wanna be clear, she's gonna do it.
yeah,
She's gonna take the training
right,
while this person is gonna do it,
right,
so that we can get the apartments filled.
right,
Once she's trained and she knows what she's
Right.
doing. So a mutual aid agreement is usually 30 days.
right.
And then at the end of 30 days, if you still need the assistance, then you can renew it for another 30 days. It's not we're not hiring an employee. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay,
It's,
okay, well, that sounds fair, because we've been absent a director for a long time, and to have somebody with her knowledge,
Mhm.
except for learning all that goes with, and having somebody come in to help her along, it would be a good idea, I think.
Shirley?
My thought is, I like on-the-job training, which means that if she's being trained to work with the champs, while we were in need of people to want to come in, my personal feeling is that I'd like to see her working with somebody, training her,
not hiring anybody or having somebody come in from the outside, because on-the-job training, to me, is one of the most important things you can experience.
Okay. Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to hire someone to fulfill the CHAMP under a mutual aid agreement for 30 days, and then if we need to renew another 30 days until Tony is ready.
Yeah, sounds good.
So you make a motion,
Make a motion, yeah.
Virginia?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Shirley? No. Okay, so we have 3 yeses and 1 nay. So we will work on that and get that mutual aid agreement going and move on from there. Okay, so the next thing on the agenda was holiday, I guess, policies? Or is that done for state aided?
That's done for state aided. And the next two are policy.
Okay,
So admin day would be something for Caitlin and I to be in the office working on paperwork documentation.
well, I think the first one is the holiday,
Oh,
so can
we
we,
put them backwards in the agenda.
I did? Oh,
That's on the bottom.
all right, admin first, oh, okay, well, I'm looking at your policies and yours is, so, okay, so it doesn't matter, which one do you wanna do?
So since I already started talking about it, the admin day is a day where the office staff, Caitlin and I, would stay in the office, with the door closed to the public or residents in order to do office work. During we've opened, before you had no office days, now we have 4, Monday through Thursday, 9 to 3. During that time, I know it's probably because there hasn't been anyone in the office for a little while, but we do get everything that's been piling up for years. And we want to take care of everyone. In order to do that, we need to be able to do the paperwork for all of these things. So what I'm requesting for myself and my team is 1 day where the admin staff, myself and the administrative assistant, can be in the office with the door closed, working on paperwork, systems, training, basically everything that we do in the office just without interruption, and then we'd still remain open for 3 days, regular hours.
So I'm gonna open it up to the tenants.
Yeah.
Because one of the things we discussed when we interviewed you was we wanted the office open to the tenants 4 days a week. And now you're asking to close 1 day.
You can vote no, I mean, but
Well, I'm just saying, you know, it's something that the tenants have a right to have an input. So I'm gonna open it up to the tenants and,
This will just
Paulette,
be 1 day.
wait, Paulette?
For me, I'm against it, I'm sorry. I'm just a tenant, but I'm against it.
You're
I
not just
would
a tenant.
I would suggest maybe once a month you would close the office for a whole day and do your work that you're talking about. You know, I know you're backed up, that we know. But to be closed every week for a day, I think it's too much right now. Because we've been having nobody in the office for over almost 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to us, but that's my opinion. I don't know about the other tenants, how they feel, but that's how I feel.
Anyone else?
There was a situation, sorry for my voice, quite a few years ago where they needed someone to come in and help with work that was backed up for 3 years that was never put into the computer. And it only took that person 2 weeks to catch up. So I don't think that you need somebody that often.
To close it down 1 day a week. Anyone else? You feel the same way?
Well, that answered my question.
Okay, so the consensus is everybody is not comfortable with closing it? No, okay. So now I'm gonna go to the board, it's a board decision. So, Virginia?
Well, I'm not comfortable with closing it, but
Okay.
I would say a half a day and see how it goes. A half a day, like 9 to 12. And see how that goes. And, you know,
Okay,
let's look at it again in a month and see if it's working.
okay. Shirley?
My thought is, I guess I'm the opposite, because I'm thinking with everything that they have to catch up on in that office, there's probably so much that they could use that half day or the full day, whatever they need, to get the back stuff caught up, so that they can get beyond with everything, so they can get lots of president stuff to get.
Pat?
Sorry, talking about having one day, work a half a day?
Well, what she's requested is having the office closed. So right now, what we worked out when we hired Janny was that she could have Fridays off. Instead of making the 32 hours stretch across 5 days, she has Friday off. So the office is closed every Friday. Will always be closed every Friday. Janny is suggesting that she close it another day during the week. They'll still come in.
So I want to clarify, I'm a 32-hour employee, so I only get paid for those 4 days that I'm here. I'm saying for one of those days that I'm here to do admin work, it's not like I'm taking Fridays off.
Okay.
I'm only getting paid for those
I was
4 days.
gonna say that.
Okay.
So she wants to close the office. The staff will still come in, but it won't be open to any of the tenants. It won't be open to the public. But they'll be in the office, they'll be doing work. And she wants to close it 1 day a week. So now the office will only be open 3 days a week instead of 4.
Well, if there's a feeling that you need one whole day without interruptions from the public coming in or walking in, unless they just make appointments.
Well, she wouldn't be doing that either. She wouldn't be making any appointments. It would be strictly closed. It would be closed. She would be doing her work and I'm assuming you want to do this too because you want to do trainings, yes?
Well, my trainings are land on different days, so
But,
whatever days
so,
those land on, I can't control whether.
okay, I guess we never even talked about what day you wanted to close the office. Do you have a specific day in mind?
Well, couldn't they?
Well, listen, it's open to a lot of things. I mean, we
Right.
can do a half a day, we can do 1 day a month. We don't, there's a whole,
Couldn't they close one day temporarily
yeah,
in like 30 days or
right.
60 days after that, reopen the 4 days?
Right.
That would give them a chance to catch up with all the work that's behind in the beginning. If there's that much work, I mean, I can only imagine, look at the piles here. You just have quadruple, work. So for that reason, it might be a good idea to catch up. But then after that, and everything's caught up, there's no reason why you can't be open 4 days. Unless they want to do a half a day.
Well, that's what Virginia suggested, and it doesn't appear that the tenants want that. Linda?
Would this be permanent or just until you catch up?
So putting it on as a policy, I think would probably make it, well, the policy says may designate 1 day per week, but it doesn't have to be a policy. So if we vote, no, it doesn't have to be a policy, and then we could probably just, as needed until we catch up.
Paulette?
Maybe I should say this, but maybe this doesn't pertain to it. I think it should be a policy. So if the next administrator comes in and she decides she wants some days off or whatever, there's a policy already in place for one day a month, or like Virginia said, a half a day, to do paperwork, because I know they're never caught up. I've heard that since I've been here, they never caught up. But that's only my feeling, you know, that it should be a policy.
Okay.
But that's my own opinion. I mean, we have so many other policies that, you know.
Okay, so I'm gonna express my opinion now. I do not think that we should be closing the office another day. However, I would be open to a compromise and doing it for a month with a review at the next board meeting as to how necessary it is, and do it for a second month, and then after that, no more.
You didn't want me, she doesn't want me on this board. Do you think you could do it in 2 months?
I can't catch up for years' work in 2 months, this is an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
But we will just have to figure out a way to do it in between, you know, everything else. So, just office and working with the tenants at the same time, which is doable, it's just gonna take us a little bit longer to do everything.
I have no suggestion.
Well,
But that comes with the job. I mean, I know that you're backed up, but you're gonna always be backed up. And that just comes with the job. Try to be a little bit more efficient or something, I don't know, but you can't extend it. It can't be extended.
I feel very similar to you, Gladys. I feel like it's part of the job. I mean, this is the territory. It's unfortunate, but knowing how this works, it's never gonna be caught up. It's never gonna be caught up. They come up with new things and add on more programs and more things, and it's never gonna be caught up. And the whole thing for the tenants was to be able to, you know, have access and have somebody there. That's the reason why we tried 2 management agreements and neither one of them worked. And so, while I think it's part of the job, I would be willing to do it, but on a very temporary basis. I would not be willing to make it my opinion, I would not wanna make it as a policy, so so now our office is only open and available 3 days a week. So, I mean, I remember Ken saying, when I said, you can have Fridays off, and Ken said, that's a very generous offer, so.
If you were paying for it, it would be very generous.
Well, no, because we could have divided the 32 hours up, so you had to come in 5 days.
Well, there's not a policy for office days, but
Right.
I see what you're saying.
Right, you know, it could have been extended through, and it was suggested to do that, Ken suggested, and having, like, once Caitlin is up to snuff, have Caitlin work on Friday, and have that be one of the days, so that there would always be someone in the office Monday through Friday. But we thought, you know, we discussed it and thought that it would be better to give you guys a long weekend. So, just to be clear, it doesn't mean that that they're not gonna be doing work, that they're getting the day off. If they're there and it's not open to anybody, they're still doing work. It's not, I don't want anybody to misunderstand, okay?
It also affects people that are coming in with their paperwork, and if the office, they get very frustrated, they talk to us, and, you know, what do we tell them, the office is closed? And they only have certain times that they can come here to pick up paperwork, drop off their paperwork, or whatever, so it's just the tenants.
I know there's 2 in the office.
So, go ahead.
Virginia suggested 4 hours in the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
What
just
if
to
she
be,
takes the 4 hours, one day, okay? Yeah, 4 hours one day, and maybe on Friday take 4 hours.
Don't work on Fridays, the office is closed on Fridays.
I do that because of contracts.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
All right.
so,
Get on this.
so, you know, if we did it a half a day, so, just so we're clear, Janny's hours are 7:30 to 3:30. So she's already here for an hour and a half in the morning with the office closed. And a half an hour at the end of the day, the office closes at 3 and Janny's here until 3:30. So that's an extra 2 hours every day of uninterrupted time, which is equivalent to 8 hours for the week. So that's why I'm thinking that maybe doing it what Virginia suggested, but for a very limited time. You know, do it one day a week where you're closed and you don't open the office until noontime or 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. So you have your break and the office opens. So if anybody needs to come in and drop something off or, you know, has something going on, there still would be that opportunity 4 days. Pat?
So what you're saying is to close, like say Thursday, a half a day?
Or, I don't know, did you have a day in mind?
I didn't, just asking in general for trainings, if there are trainings that I could take on that day. But it's never on a specific
Right,
Monday, Thursday.
so we would, I mean, would we want something consistent?
I would like to see something consistent, you know. if it-
Consistent?
if,
Yeah.
You know,
Can I say something?
Sure.
I would think, I mean, I don't know, I haven't been in the office and, I have no idea what, well, I have an idea what you're up against, but, I think what you had said earlier, let's try it for 30 days and see where you're at after 30 days. And then see how much more time you might need to clean up all the work that's behind. Just do it that way, and, it will be only temporary then,
Right.
instead of being permanent.
could I say something?
Sure.
And it could, closing it, you know, for half a day or
Right.
whatever. She's got her learning curve there. She can, you know,
Yeah.
she'll have a chance to,
Mhm.
you know, learn more.
Okay.
'Cause the reason why I'm saying this is because, a half a day is really not that long, okay? And if you start getting into the work, before you know it, if you're in, say at 9 o'clock, and then you're gonna leave at 12 o'clock, I don't think you're gonna get much work done.
She's here till, from 7:30.
She starts her day at
She starts at
7:30,
But still, it's a
so,
half a day.
7:30 to 1 is a,
And that goes
Is it-
by quick. I mean, when I was the director of the school that I worked at, I used to stay at night. Everybody went home and I was in there at night, but I wasn't getting paid.
well, that's what Janny is gonna realize if she doesn't already. It's 32 hours, but I haven't talked to an executive director who ever works the hours she's hired for and what she gets paid for. That's why, for me, I look at it and say, this is not gonna make you catch up, because there's always gonna be something else and something else and something else. This is the nature of this
But-
business.
but because she's new, it would be probably good to have that half a day. Because then she can, yeah,
No,
she'll learn,
I'm-
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It'll get her, she'll be able to get her feet wet.
Right, right.
You know,
I'm not against doing a half a day, one half a day a week. I'm not against that. I think that then that still leaves it open, so that it's, to me, that's a compromise. The tenants still, 4 days a week, they'll just have to learn that they can't, let's say
Allow a couple hours. to
on
come in.
Tuesday, right. So let's say it's every Tuesday, the office doesn't open until 1 o'clock, and it closes again at 3, because that's what you have had it done. And you're gonna stay until 3:30 anyway, so you can finish up any, whatever you need done. But that still allows, if there's something that is going on and the tenants need something, then, does that sound like a fair compromise?
Yeah.
And we'll do it, a month, and then,
At a time.
and then when we meet with the board again, we'll review it and see how it's going. The tenants again, I hope you'll all come, and we'll present it out, and see how you guys feel, cause you will be the ones experiencing it. And then if we need to do it extended another month, then we can discuss that at the board meeting. Ken, Steve? Ken?
I think the half day is a really good idea. And after, I've only been here a little over a year now, and to have someone in the office 3 days a week is a blessing.
Right,
3.5 days is even better, you know,
Yeah.
so I agree with the half day.
okay.
And if you think nothing, we have to get caught up, the more time you give me to get caught up, the better chance there is to get caught up.
Right. But then it also has to do with time management, and we now have 2 people in the office, whereas we didn't, so it should go better, it should be easier. There's gonna be a lot of things that you can, delegate to your administrative assistant, and so, I mean, even just with tenants coming in and, complaints should be in writing. They should bring it in writing, and then when you have an opportunity to read them, then, so that can kind of eliminate some of the revolving door. But, I'm just saying, there's, time management. I think we kind of get a consensus within the tenants that, a half a day,
I don't think she can.
If it's,
go
if
ahead,
it's
Linda.
consistent, so we know that someone's been there, like with Leominster, we never knew when someone was
Yeah.
gonna be in the
Right.
office, so.
Yeah.
Right,
Then we would know, oh, it's closed half a day on Tuesday.
Right.
Or whatever day you choose.
I agree, if everybody's nodding, it seems like
Yeah.
is that what one is the same day?
Sure.
Okay,
Does the assistant work every day?
no, she's an 18-hour position, so she's there, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, right? And I don't think it makes much sense to do it on a Wednesday if she's not there.
Right, she needs the time too.
Yeah, so Tuesday
Mhm.
or Thursday?
Tuesday, okay.
Tuesday? Okay. All right, so
I make a motion.
I'm looking for a motion to, accept a half a day once a week on Tuesdays. The office will be closed until 1 o'clock. It, will reopen at 1 o'clock. It will be done for a month and then reviewed by the board at the next board meeting. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we do this every Tuesday.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries by all board members present. So Tuesdays, the office starting, we haven't discussed that, you wanna start it next week?
Sure.
Okay. So, starting next week. Okay. So the next thing,
I put in a request, to update the holiday policy to include, for employees to take December 24th off, every year. Our policy currently has, I believe, 8 holiday days. Most housing authorities, they don't have the 24th, they have other things that we don't necessarily, celebrate. So we agreed that if we were going to add a day in there, it would be the 24th of December.
Okay, so, in my conversations with the EOHLC, they sent me this. This is the holidays. We don't, our policy is outdated, as most of our policies are. There are some that we've done and that are new, but quite a few of them are outdated. So this one, what they have said to me is that there are 12.
We have 8 in our policy.
But that's what I'm saying to you. There are 12. So what they advised me is that we need to have communication, a conversation about these are the holidays. These are the ones that EOHLC subscribes to. These are the legal holidays. It's New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Day, President's Day, Patriots Day, Memorial Day, Juneteenth, Independence Day, Labor Day, Indigenous Peoples' Day or Columbus Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas Day. The only way I was told that we could do anything in addition is to put a rider onto our policy. Well, because our policy says only 8 holidays, we have to have a conversation about it. We have to make a new policy that has to be presented to the board. Unfortunately, you're asking for this to start Tuesday? It's not gonna happen.
Well, it
It's-
would have to be for next year.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's, the 24th is not on there anyway, so.
No, it's
I
not.
guess the next step would be to adopt.
No,
There.
this is,
I know, but is it,
it's
isn't
not
it
open for
against
discussion,
the law?
Gladys.
But isn't it against the law to restrict somebody from celebrating their religion?
Gladys, it's not open for
I
discussion.
know, but
But you need to be quiet,
oh,
okay?
and that's being a Scrooge.
Okay.
Ah.
We have to go by state laws. These are the laws. So
Happens every time.
they're very clear. So in order for us to change it, we have to fix the inadequate policy we already have, which is only 8 days. That's 4 days less than this. Now, before you got here, David had a half day before, David and Drew had a half a day before Thanksgiving. He had Thanksgiving and he had the day after, so he's kind of caught up.
Well, Lemonster gave him that.
Well,
He was still under it, right?
right, and so, yeah, but it's still, we're an independent housing authority, even though we're under a management agreement, the policies go by our housing authority. So, you know, he got kind of caught up this year on getting close to the 12. But these are the ones, so these are the ones that need to go into effect. We're gonna need to set that up and have a conversation about it, and then decide as a board if we wanna add more. It has to be done as an addendum to the policy, and they don't allow us, EOHLC doesn't allow us to do too many more. There's a cap. So I guess we'll say no to this year and then pick it up. I mean,
You vote.
yeah, I know, but I'm having a conversation with you, so
Okay.
you understand the reasons why?
Yeah, we didn't have that one, so if we should just make the update or adopt whatever steps we have to take to
Yeah.
make that happen, that works
Yeah.
for me.
Well, obviously, policies have to be voted on, so we can
Mhm.
put these in place and then have a meeting, but it'll have to be, you know, we'll have to create it and then do it and have it voted on. And then have a discussion about if we wanna add more,
Okay.
okay?
That works.
Alright, so, I'm looking for a motion to keep the holidays the same this year for 2024. And then the first of the year, have a new policy that reflects all 12 holidays going forward for 2025.
I make a motion, we keep the policy the way it is for now, and then, make a new policy for the, new holidays that are supposed to be allowed.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously by board members present. Okay, next.
Year-end inspections, so.
Could I ask if I could just present the financials and the budget, because I have an hour and a half drive?
Okay,
Could we skip to that?
okay.
That okay?
Oh, sorry,
Yeah. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, I
Um,
appreciate that.
Can I just ask one question?
Sure.
The update, it's pretty simple, right? And that's,
All completed.
yeah, and that's the last part of your ED report, is it not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine, yes,
All
no,
right.
it's fine, I was just
So-
like,
Go forward.
gotta pick my dog up at dog so, getting nervous. So you wanna do the financials first? The financials are for October.
Sure.
The first page is your treasury page. I always like to turn to the second page, which is just a summary. And I think I've mentioned before, all of your programs are doing well except for the, Section 8 new construction, which hopefully we can catch up. If I can do anything to help you with the HUD stuff to get that going. I don't know it, but if we can learn it together, because that's the only program that's losing money. Everybody else is making money. If we move to the budget, EOHLC gave everyone a 12% ANUEL, which increases your subsidy this year. So your subsidy for the section, for the 4001 is going up to 312,000. Last year, it was, the PUM was 364.37, this year it's going up to 406.27. So that is really helping you. When I was doing the budgets, because previously we didn't have, an executive director or an assistant, I just kind of changed some of the percentages and put a little more towards the Section 8 and the Section 8 new construction in hopes that that's gonna start making some money next year. So all of your programs are making money except for the Section 8, because I didn't know how to even budget, not the Section 8 new construction. I didn't know how to budget the subsidy because since I've been here, which is not long, I have not seen any money coming in. So once we can figure that out. The Section 8 new construction doesn't need to have a budget filed with EOHLC. So I always make a budget up anyways, just so we have something to look at. But we can always revise that at a later date. The maintenance there with the L&I rates. So we did kind of do an increase, but it could change according to what the state sends out for that. And if it's too much, we can, if it's less or more than what I have in the budget, we can always do a revision to the budget.
Okay.
One other big item for the budgets this year is anyone who's got the health insurance incentive, it went from 1,000 to 5,000. So I incorporated that into your expenses. And again, because I'm learning all of this stuff too, with the maintenance and contractual, I basically just gave everything like a 5% increase over last year. I didn't go up too much. So if anyone has any questions?
Anybody? No? Anybody any questions? We haven't, Janie, did, Drew give you a, proof of, that he has insurance outside of here?
I haven't asked for it.
Well, it was asked before you got here. Because the only way he can get that incentive is he has to show
Yes.
proof that he is insured somewhere else.
Yeah, he does have to have insurance. He can't not have insurance
Right.
and then collect this money.
I can ask.
Yeah,
And
well,
I think he said he had it, it just.
yeah,
we'll follow up.
yeah, he said at one of our other board meetings that he could do that, because that's what you had explained to us.
And he could even, because it was on the books last year too, he's actually.
He's owed,
He's
yeah.
owed for
He's
23.
owed.
and then 24, he owed for 23, and then 24 he can get in January. You can't give it out before the end of the fiscal year, okay? We can talk about this.
Yeah, yeah, but he was told, and he did say that he could finish that, so I just didn't know whether maybe he gave it to you or not, no? Yeah, in order to get that money and, you know, put it in for one of the meetings in the warrant, he needs to come up with that, proof,
I'll follow up.
yeah. And that's another big hit, $5,000.
Well, you have to think you're not paying out expense for him,
Yeah,
so kind of washes.
yeah. So he can get the 1,000,
He's owed
Now.
1,000 for fiscal year 23.
right,
So if he shows that he has insurance
Right.
last year, we can cut him a check for $1,000. After January, or after December this year, if he shows that he has insurance, he can get another 1,000 in January,
okay,
okay?
Of 26.
no, this January.
This year, of 25. In January of 25, he can get
Yeah,
5,000.
5,000.
For 24?
Yeah.
Oh,
So he doesn't get the 5,000 until January of 2025. It's gotta be after the fiscal year.
so the 1,000 was for 23?
Yes, and then for 24. It's
Okay.
been in effect.
Right, so I'm a little lost, because I thought the same thing. He gets the 5,000 January of 2026.
Yes, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
you
Did I
said
say
20,
25? I'm
okay.
sorry.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm saying, oh boy, we're gonna be
Yeah,
giving this
no,
kid $7,000.
no, I'm
He's
sorry.
liable to take a
26, I'm
permanent
sorry.
vacation
I apologize for
somewhere.
that.
Okay,
Yeah, you'll be
Okay.
taking the month of February off.
yeah, he will, wouldn't blame him. No. Okay, so any other questions on that? You guys understand that about that incentive?
Yeah.
Pat, you weren't here for those. They offer employees incentives for not taking health insurance. Drew doesn't take the health insurance because he said he's insured elsewhere. So he was owed that for 2023 and for 2024. And then once 2025, it went up to 5,000, so.
Okay, so there's an option. You don't have to take the insurance.
Correct. And
You have other.
but you have to be insured somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if he was married and his wife gets
Right.
insurance through work, it might be cheaper, you know, as long as he's covered by insurance, he gets this incentive.
Or
And this is
because,
a state, this is like an EOHL thing, it's not just the housing authority
yeah,
came up with this.
yeah, and he, you know, he could be insurance under his parents still.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of his age, so,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. He just has to prove
Yeah.
before we can give him the money. Okay, next?
So yeah, it would just be the certification
Budget,
pages?
yep.
So the certification pages, for the 4001, so we would need to make a motion to move to propose, the Warren Housing Authority Program 4001 for fiscal year ending 12/31/25. You're showing revenue of $339,634 and total expenses of $646,890. Thereby, you're requesting subsidy of $312,018. I just realized this too, and I can email this to you. I need a copy of your executive director salary. We just need to add that into here. So for these, if we approve this, I can fill out this page and email it to you, and then we just need to sign here, the secretary, who would be the secretary? Virginia, okay. So Virginia would just need to sign this.
Did you just say that?
No, I thought she's always been the secretary, hasn't she?
No, she's the vice chair.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
It can even be the executive director.
Yeah, I don't think we have a secretary.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We,
The
you're
secretary.
Yeah.
The executive director sits ex officio as secretary,
Yeah.
right? You've been recording the meeting, yes? Yeah, good. Yeah,
Um,
so,
and then we just need this page here signed
by all of us.
by all of you. Did you ever find your stamp?
Nope.
These get emailed anyways, these get emailed, so we'll add, they need a stamp. I don't know if you ordered one or,
Okay.
but so this would be for the 4001, and then for the MRVP,
Well, let's do this one
yeah,
first.
do that one first, yeah.
Okay, so, motion, so we're looking for a motion to move that the proposed operating budget for state aided housing of the Warren Housing Authority chapters 200, 667, 705, 689, and MRVP program number 4001 for fiscal year ending 12/31/2025, showing total revenues of 300, and, oh, here we go again, 339,634, account number 3,000, and total expenses of 646,890, account number 4,000, thereby requesting a subsidy of $312,018, account number 3801, and further that the executive director's total annual salary is
86,667.
86,667 for fiscal year ending 12/31/2025 be submitted to the Department of Housing and Community Development for its review and approval. Want to make the motion?
I make a motion.
So,
I gotta read that whole thing.
no, I just did, so,
Oh,
so now we need a second.
I make a motion that we approve this operating budget.
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
You see it's on the second page. So here, Virginia,
Yep,
so her name will go here.
Yep. Virginia. your
And
name
who's
goes
second?
in. Shirley?
Okay.
Where's the name go?
That down at the bottom, the second of, the motion which, right before that,
Oh, okay.
Where?
approval.
After the word approval.
Yeah.
Jen.
Right here.
Did you all vote on it?
Yeah, we
Okay,
did.
so,
It was
a
unanimous.
vote of 4 to 4. 4 to 4.
Yeah. Yeah, pass by the vote of, 4 to 4.
And then the only other thing, you all will need to sign this. You don't have to do this in a second, but you will all
Well,
sign
we're here,
it.
we might as well. Can I use the pen, Virginia? Print name. see, it says, you check this box, it's made under the seal of the Warren Housing Authority. In your zeal to clean the office, have you seen
A seal?
the seal? It's metal, it's in a pouch. It's disappeared. What's that? Jesus, I have to. Oh, you didn't put the amount in, did you?
I can put it in,
Okay.
Yeah, she did.
I know,
No,
it's in
I
pencil though,
understand.
I'll erase it, I'll put it in a. It's just basically for the, it's on here. It's on here. You can fill it in later, it's just like board members, I just don't know their last names. And I can give you the email address to send that to.
Okay. I move that the proposed operating budget for state aided housing of the Warren Housing Authority, chapter 200, 667, 705, 689, MRVP, program number MRVP for fiscal year ending 12/31/2025, showing total revenue of $7,260, account number 3,000, and total expenses of $47,246, account number 4,000, thereby requesting a subsidy of $40,000, account number 3801, converting at the executive director's total annual salary of $86,667 for fiscal year ending 12/31/2025 be submitted to the Department of Housing and Community Development for its review and approval.
I make a motion, we accept.
No, you're seconding it.
Oh, I second it.
All in favor?
Aye. Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously by board members present. the checks. Once you get that, if you wanna go.
Yeah, thank you, I appreciate it. And I can give you a call, oh, you're not here tomorrow, Monday, to do the MRPP?
No.
The Silver.
Oh, I have to send it.
Yeah, okay, so it's us.
Yeah.
Oh, great,
Or-
good, good, good.
I heard someone laughing, I'm like, oh.
It's okay,
But I was on the
no,
phone.
no worries, no worries.
So how long have you been sitting here?
Since, like 1:30. It's okay, a little after 1:30.
No one for that, Huh?
I thought she was gonna sneeze.
Oh, you were ready to say God bless you?
Surprised I haven't been. I've been, okay.
Thanks. Okay,
Great, thank you very much.
thank you.
We can talk Monday how to get those uploaded.
Okay.
All right, thank you, everybody. Have a Merry Christmas.
You too, you too, Jane, take care.
Nice to meet you. We'll talk.
Okay, so we've already voted to approve the financials, did we not?
FedEx,
And
Jane?
we're, huh? Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to approve the financials.
I make a motion, we approve the financials.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries by all board members present. So now we're working on the warrant. These are extras, I don't know if you wanna take them. Well, they should get shredded, it's all our finances. Did anybody have any questions while we're doing this on the warrant? No? The last one on here, Pioneer Valley Environmental, there was a problem with one of the heat pumps over at West School. And Brown and Brown Insurance Services, that's our insurance. And the, oh, and the Mass Narrow was added, right? That's their membership?
Yes, that's the MPHA personnel training. That's the membership price, that's why it came out so cheap.
Membership price?
Well, it's $200 if you're a member, $400 if you're not.
Trash is very expensive.
Why, what was it? Guest services. I hate to see what the bill is gonna be next after that was put in the dumpster.
Okay.
If you want, you can just grab my pen so you don't have to carry mine.
Doesn't matter, it's piling up here, so.
Okay. Oh God, I should put the thing on this to Jane.
Oh, it's for Jane, well, that's okay.
Sorry.
It's hard for me to read it backwards or upside down.
This is for 2 months.
What? Comcast? Yeah. Is it for 2 months? Or one?
Doesn't.
I think it's for one, cause I think the last one was $555 and change. The Comcast bill, that's for 1 month.
One of them was overdue, and I printed the,
Yeah, yeah, I have that,
Yeah.
184.37.
Did Ken give you any other invoice, just this?
just that.
So we don't know what he's charging?
That's your agreement.
Well, we didn't have an agreement for the rest, it was just for the search. That's why I had asked you to see about getting an invoice from him, just to know up to what point or what he's,
That's the only
yeah.
invoice I have.
Yeah, this is his fee for the contract we signed to do the search, but the extra, that him staying on and doing extra,
Do you want me to ask him for another invoice?
well, just, it would be nice to know where we're at.
Yeah. Okay.
sure. And you have to sign. We did a remote, deposits, so she wouldn't have to keep driving to the bank, so
Oh, okay.
we all had to sign, so
Okay.
Virginia and I did ours on DocuSign. Do you have a paperclip? Must be minimum. What is?
76, $294, $284. Sewer.
Oh.
I don't know. That's okay. No check. Okay.
Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to approve the checks.
I'll make a motion that we approve the checks.
I second it.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously by board members present. Is this yours?
Oh, here.
Here. Okay, anybody have any questions or concerns?
Anybody go swim?
Huh?
Anybody go swim?
So it is. I'm looking for a motion to adjourn the meeting at 3:35 PM for December 19th.